go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. What's going on, family? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Let me know in the chat. How are you? How are you? It's good to see your face. Good to see your face. Good to see your face. If you're here with me on YouTube, amazing. If you're here with me on IG, amazing. We'd love for you to join on YouTube. Where we are live streaming on our Thought Leader Thursdays. These are powerful conversations to transform not only our lives, but our mindsets, our finances, and just keep up to date with the current news and what's going on in the world to make sure that you are staying whole and grounded. So this used to be inside of our Discord where I was doing what we call a town hall. I was updating my community on what we've got going on. And I just decided to, this year of 2025, to publicize it a little bit more and keep it on this channel to welcome more and more people into our community that want to get connected, that want to transform, that want to build on something. So we'd love to have you inside, and decide to also stream it here on our IG as well if you've never heard us. So if you're on our YouTube, please let me know in the chat if you're here. Got our music going, and today is going to be how to regain control of our lives. And I know it sounds very cliche, but we've got the inauguration coming up, right? And a lot of folks, whether it is they're politically driven, or they're a little bit fearful, or they don't really care, it doesn't really matter. But I think in 2023, 2024, it seems like a lot of stuff just isn't making sense, right? Like, I buy a home, I've got equity, but if I pull out that equity, it's going to cost me more, and then I still owe the bank more, right? So is the point of owning a home an investment, or am I trapped again? Second, some people are trying to save, and they're trying to get their finances in order, trying to get their credit in order, right? And what's going on, Tabitha? Appreciate you. All these questions that people are having, it's like, how do I regain control of, like, just my general mindset, my finances, my relationships? Because I would be very open and honest that, as I always am, whether you feel like you're at the mountaintop, there's always another mountain to climb. Second, there's some folks that are suffering in silence because they're trying to figure out the answers to their own questions in their minds. And if they do talk to somebody, there's a projection of that talking to somebody that person may have not been through what you're going through, or maybe they have an experience or an emotion of love and caring, so they want to protect you. Right? So they're going to give you the answer that you want to hear. And then you go to seek information, and the individual or the counsel or the mentor or whoever you go to, your pastor, they're going to give you the answer. And you're like, I don't want to hear that either. So if you're here for that, awesome, 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 awesome. If you're excited for this conversation, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. All right. So here's our agenda. I'm not going to keep you too long. As I always promise, our Thought Leader Thursdays are every single Thursday until, I decide, hey, gonna take a break this Thursday. But make sure you tune in on Thursdays for our Thought Leader Thursdays on YouTube. Make sure you tune in for them. They're powerful conversations that are transform your life, because you went through 4 days of the week, and it's been a really good week. It's been a challenging week. It's been a frustrating week. It's been an exciting week for you. And you're just trying to figure out, how do I get all of this rounded out together to make sure that I continue this train, right? I want to continue this train. All right. So if you're here for that, let me know in the chat. Let me know. Appreciate you, Tyrone. If you're on our Instagram, tune over to YouTube. We'd love to have you over there. All right. So as always, I like to read through a couple of devotionals, get some additional words. I get my feedback. So we have our pivot year that we're going through. We have our Walking with God devotional. And then also we have our daily stoic. So 3 different readings that we'll go through together. And I want to give my sentiments and perspectives on how I personally try to, because I'm not perfect, about regaining control. Because what we can control are emotions. We can control our own actions. And my theme this year, if you did not hear from our prayer and fasting 7 days at the beginning of the year on this channel, faith in action is my theme for this year. There's a lot of folks that have faith, they have belief that something's going to happen, but that actionable perseverance and that continuation of I'm going to do what I can do just begins to halt, and it begins to wither, and it begins to fade, and it begins to, slow down just a little bit. How do I rebuild that momentum, Brian, in this moment? All right, cool. Keep the vibes rolling in the background. I want to get rolling here. All right. So our Thought Leader Thursdays, as always, if you didn't know, it comes into play, and I want to bring up let's see if we can bring this up. Let's see. If not, I'll just read it off. So we have what we call a creed. Okay. We have a creed, and our creed is what we believe in inside of Leverage University. That is my Discord community. That is where my clients are, people that want to be a part of what we've got going on these public platforms. Brian, I want to connect with you more. I want to connect with the people you're around. I want to get involved with professionals, real people, right, that are going through it, that are excelling, that are doing well, but also understanding that it's a journey and a climb and a marathon. So if you're about that, we'd love to have you inside of Leverage University. All the links are down below. You can join our Thought Leader Hub. It's $1 a day, right? It's $1 a day to be inside of our community. For those that just need a holistic community, talking about business, finance, stocks, book clubs. If you want to get connected, you want to network, you want to have connections, you want to get involved, we'd love to have you inside. If you want even further in that, you're more than welcome to join our university, where we have our skill sets, how to develop a business, how to get sales, how to start learning how to sell, how to start learning how to trade and invest in the stock market. If you need your credit or understanding more about credit, all that information is inside of our university. So all the links will be down below. And if you're on our IG, you're more than welcome to check the links in the bio. All right. Let's read off our creed here. Our creed. All right. If you want to repeat after me, I'll read slowly and you can maybe jot it down, and you're more than welcome to take it into your own. I am a powerful thought leader. I choose abundance and joy over fear and uncertainty. Every day I'm empowered to be just 1% better and to maximize my zone of genius. My unwavering spirit will shake the world, and today I have the power and permission to show up unapologetically me. That is what we stand for inside of Leverage University, inside of our community. That is my mantra, my creed that I have shared with our community. And you are not your title. You are not what anyone else calls you. You are not called out of your name. You are not, if someone perceives you to be X, Y, and Z, you have your own thoughts, your ideas, your emotions, your behaviors, your characteristics, your experiences, your past, right? Your family, your friends, how you grew up, where you grew up in the United States or outside of the United States. It's important. So I consider everyone a thought leader. All right. So if you want to take that for yourself, you're more than welcome. All right. Now let's jump into it. Okay. Couple of things. I like to make this fun, entertaining, a little bit of unfiltered, uncut. We're having fun. It's Thursday. Grab yourself a drink, a little coffee, whatever you want to do. Tune in, and we'll be up out of here. A couple of things on the agenda. We got this inauguration coming up, okay? And there's a lot of emotions going on. There's a lot of excitement, all right? Make America great again. There's a lot of excitement. A lot of switching sides for folks, all right? Man, maybe this could be different. I don't know. Maybe I need to explore it. Maybe the first time around. I don't know. Second, there's some blinders that are on as well. Like, nah, it's going to be the same as before. Like, this is ridiculous. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm leaving the country. Right? So there's built up emotions. And when I say these things, as you know, people start to get riled up, like, where is he going with this? I have my own views. If you want my views, you're welcome to ask me. We can have a private conversation. But the point of this particular Thought Leader Thursday is to make sure that you regain control. because some folks have lost it. You've lost it to your local government. You've lost it to the news. You've lost it to your partner. You've lost it to your friends. You've lost it just in general to your career. You've lost it in your health, right? All these buckets of life that we're trying to fill, health, wealth, love, and happiness, or joy, you've lost. And just because you've lost, right? Maybe it's not dead, right? When you lose something, it can be replaced. Some people have lost family. Some people have lost loved ones. Some people have lost their minds. Let's actually look it up. Let's actually look this up together, okay? So follow with me. Let's actually look this up. And what is the definition? What is the legitimate definition to lose? Be deprived or cease to retain something. I've lost my appetite. Become unable to find something or someone. I've lost my car keys. So if I'm deprived, let's actually go a little bit deeper. Suffering, damaging, a lack of basic material and cultural benefits. I'm suffering. I'm deprived. How do we reframe this of I'm lost, I'm suffering, I'm deprived, I need to build this back up. I don't feel like I have control over what's going on. It seems like everything is happening to me and not for me. How do I reframe that? Well, I have to first define what it is that I feel and what it is that actually is real. Feel and real. We talk about it in golf a lot for my golf people. If you're not a golf person, some people say that have taken lessons. It's like, man, this is the hardest, most frustrating, exciting game that I've ever played. Maybe you play mini golf, maybe go to Top Golf. It's so fun as a real golfer, as a person that has been playing golf for over 25 years, right? I was fortunate enough to have that in my life, but it's very interesting and exciting to see people at Top Golf or at mini golf or even at the golf range, like the actual golf course. Like I was at the golf course the other day and, you know, someone was trying to teach their partner, like they you know, the boyfriend who's halfway decent, but not really, but I'm excited for him because the girlfriend is looking him in the eyes like, yo, you good? You about to teach me? So he's trying to play a little game, you know? So feel and real. So when you're swinging the golf club, what you feel is that you are swinging a certain way, but when you get on camera, it's like, ooh, that's ugly. But you need an outside perspective to just tune it. You need to see what you are actually feeling. So what is real? Maybe your swing is beautiful. Maybe what you have is actually beautiful. Maybe what you have is actually toxic. Who knows? So we feel like we've lost everything. I've lost control of my health, meaning you feel like you are deprived and it's never coming back. You can never replace it. Some things you can't. But when I reframe, if we look at opposite, right? What is the opposition of losing? Regain, find, maybe blessings. So step number one, when I am trying to regain control of my health, my finances, my joy, I'm trying to understand and acknowledge what is real and also what I feel. Once I do that, I then begin to try to regain or find a way to reignite or replace in a positive, healthy way with the habits and the actions that lead towards where I'm trying to go. So if I'm feeling deprived or lack of happiness or joy in my life, to regain control of that in some form or fashion, this may work for you. It's very simplistic, but some people, I'm not here to preach or tell anyone like that I know everything, but some people just need a little refresh. They need a little reminder about what they have inside. man, I'm just feeling depressed. I don't feel like, you know, anything's going right. I can't gain momentum. It's just every time I go 2 steps forward, I get knocked back 3 steps and I'm having to restart or whatever it might be. I try to find the joy in the smallest things. So is it the sunshine? Is it going on a walk? Is it just walking around? Like today, for example, I just was like, man, I'm just going to go walk around in Target. I don't know why. I just need to go on a drive. I need to walk around in Target. Maybe just get me a little pick me up energy drink just to, you know, I don't need it. You don't need a lot of things, but just that one spark of something that, you know, you don't need, like, you know, that, oh, you don't need a $5 coffee, or you don't need to go spend money at Chick-fil-A, or you don't need to go eat out. And maybe you do. And that's okay. As long as you reframe it into a healthy, momentous way of getting yourself back on track. And man, let me just go get me a nice little protein shake and go on a drive and then maybe go on a walk just to get myself back up in order. So now I just have this ability to regain what I feel like I've lost, which is, it just seems so big and far-fetched to regain everything. Maybe some of you, it's like, man, I remember having, you know, $50,000 or $20,000 or $10,000 or $100,000 saved up, or I remember having all that cash, or I remember having that ability of access of credit of that amount of money, and for whatever reason, it just has started to dwindle and dwindle and dwindle. Man, where'd all that go? So now you're trying to feel like, man, how do I regain that lump sum amount? I need to go from 0 back to 100,000. I need to go from 0 back to 20,000. I need to go to 0 back to 50, 0 to 10. Do you? Or can you just start with the small incremental steps that'll build you a little bit of momentum, saying, hey, let me actually track my stuff today. Let me get on, I personally use Rocket Mortgage Money or Rocket Money, where I personally like having access to apps. That's just me. I also have an Excel spreadsheet, but when I'm trying to get my finances in order, or just kind of like a little bit of a refresh, because sometimes we can get a little out of sync, right? So the Rocket app, and hey, Rocket, if y'all want to sponsor anything, I just hit the sync button. The sync button tells me, okay, cool. Here's your budget. Here's what you spent. Okay, cool. Good. It gives me a refresh. Not that I'm anal about those things, but it's just acknowledging the feel and the real. Oh, you feel like you have enough, right? I don't need to look at my bank account. Yeah, that's true. It may be true for you, maybe not true. But it just feels good sometimes when you know that you're on track with something, right? You've lost it. You've lost your way. You've lost track. You've lost the GPS system. So we've gone from health, finances, joy, right? Health, wealth, love, happiness. The love piece it can be very far-fetched in different ways. Number one, it could be an intimate partnership. You've lost your way with your loved one, meaning your partner in life. Maybe it's a wife, a husband, a boyfriend, a girlfriend. Maybe you're even dating right now, trying to rekindle that love spark in you. And it just feels like, man, I just don't have it anymore. Or I'm tired. I saw something, and my ladies, I've really been intrigued. Some of y'all know this, about really speaking to my men lately. I don't know what it is in me. I don't know what God put in me, but I'm like, man, I feel like my brothers, my men. Yes, I know each party is going through their own support system and what they need and what they're trying to gain and access. And everyone's trying to come in and understand each other. And I saw this, it's like, man, why does it feel like, for some, I'm just speaking to my men and women, if you're on here, listen carefully here. I don't mean to offend or choose sides necessarily. There was a woman, or there was a group or cohort of women that were asking, man, why does it seem like the men these days it just doesn't seem like they're catering as much. It doesn't seem like they have as much time. It doesn't seem like they're on their hands and feet and knees, like trying to chase the woman anymore. Where's the chase? Why aren't they coming towards me? It just seems like I've got to make moves, or I've got to put myself into position. Why do I have to do that? And the men in the cohort were saying, man, I just, my peace, my pockets, and a final, oh my gosh, my peace in my pockets got me. My peace, my pockets, my prosperity. And I was like, interesting. It's like, interesting. Each party is trying to get more peace. They're trying to protect their pockets. They're trying to understand who their people are. They're trying to achieve some sort of prosperity. And I was just listening to this. I was like, so where does the extra energy go? And that's where my theme this year was like, man, faith in action. We can't hold up ourselves and hold everybody up. We've got to be so much more in collaborative efforts that we are actually, because we're trying to figure out ourselves alone. Everyone's on their own journey. They're trying to figure out themselves. They're trying to get therapy and go here and do this. And how do I get my life back in order? Yet it's creating separation sometimes from community. And I just charge everyone in this season, if you're already doing it, amazing. Be that steward, be that thought leader that is actually propelling this message. If you're trying to figure out life alone and go on your own journey and do your own thing, just make sure you have a board of directors that you're able to table these conversations with. I go to church and I see it sometimes where there's these loving couples and they're talking about they're in marriage, they're in partnership, and they're in a loving relationship, but yet they're hurting inside because they're trying to figure out how their relationship with God is, and also how their relationship with, well, what's my journey? What's my purpose? What's my purpose, peace, and pockets? I'm trying to find my purpose. I'm trying to find my peace, and I'm trying to fill my pockets so I'm good. But if everyone's trying to fill their purpose and discover their purpose and find their peace and fill their pockets, at what point are we in collaborative efforts? So I'm seeking God. I'm trying to seek my purpose. I'm trying to find my peace. I'm trying to fill my pockets and regain control of my life. And then I will be prepared at the table for my person or my people. When this happens, I will be ready. And I'm just going to be the devil's advocate here, that take your time for grief, take your time for peace, take your time to fill your pockets, take your time, whatever you need to find and discover your purpose. But at a certain point, when your cup is half full, get in community, find your board of directors, find your council, find your people, and start growing together. Regaining control of your life does not just mean you against the world. And if you agree to disagree, that's okay, right? I'm talking here live on YouTube, and I just want to make sure that people are reminded. And if you have a different viewpoint, that's cool too, right? And in summary, and we'll go into our readings here, the reason why I am provoking this conversation, and I'll check the chat. The reason why I am provoking this conversation, I'm reading the chat here, is because we're about to have an interesting 2025 and an interesting next couple of years. And y'all know, when there is division, where there are heavy emotions, and when your pockets are hurting a little bit, when your purpose is a little bit confused and skewed, when your peace is disrupted, chaos begins to ensue. So it is more imperative for you to be grounded as much as possible in your faith, whatever you believe, Make sure you have some good people around you, whether it's paid or free. That's cool. Invest that time and energy if you're not paying. And if you are investing that hard-earned dollar that you have earned, that's cool too. But the folks that will make it, the folks that will make it will be the folks that have faith in action, will be the folks that are doing and finding peace, prosperity, their people, their purpose, and filling their pockets together. Not alone. Put a 1 in the chat. Can we get more volume? Can we get more volume? Yeah, we get more volume. We get more volume. Yeah. 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 It's interesting. It's interesting, Tabitha. You are speaking so much power. I've got my men on here too. Brothers don't want to hear this. I don't care, brothers. I mean, all shapes, sizes, colors, creeds, backgrounds. They don't want to hear it. Because guess what? We're too prideful. We're only listening to people where we want to go. So we'll watch. We'll watch the gentleman that says, and we'll watch the brother that's got all the things that has now put that brother, that man in position of power, so to speak, by society's standards. So we have definitely men that are achieving, and that's okay. I've been there, and I've now been revealed personally and healed to where you will lose yourself trying to be hard, trying to have extreme masculine energy to the point where, okay, what value can you offer me? Can you give me some money? Can you fill my pockets? Well, man, if I filled your pockets and you get everything you ask for, you go get that car, you get your house, you get everything. Yeah. But have the awareness too to know who are your people around you. Have you lost folks? Have you lost your way? Because the society standards, and I'm not perfect, the society standards will tell the man, right, that, oh, well, get yours and then you can get your people and then you can surround. Well, sometimes you'd rather go along a journey with somebody. Because sometimes the people at the table at the top, they're just as bruised or are not more bruised than folks that are at the bottom, quote unquote. Have you ever been in a room where you had an expectation of a person, man or woman, of power, and they just let you down? It's like, wow, man, that's I thought you had a little bit more emotional intelligence to that. I thought you had a little bit more to talk about than that. I thought you were a little bit more like, I don't know what I was looking for. Maybe just more. I know some people experience that on Clubhouse where it was the flash, the lights, the camera, the action. It was very fast moving. I got this offer. I'm going to join this community. And then it's just like, man, there's no substance here. I can learn from you. I can get what I need, but there's no substance. I'm trying to grow as a human being. So I agree with you, Tabitha. All that to say, I feel like I've got some good holistic men around me, right? And it's interesting. That right there is a very interesting, and that's my question. That's my question is why the dismissal? I've told a few men about you, and that's okay. Like, I don't, I want them to learn these skills you offer, but not listening to me. That's interesting. A woman, not even a woman, but a human being is trying to actually help you. Like, hey, like there's some opportunity over here to grow, to learn, to make some money, to learn more about yourself and do this and do that. I don't care who it's from. It doesn't have to be from me. Someone could literally say, hey, like, this is a great book for you. You should read it. Nah, I ain't got time for all that. What? You don't have time? You know, Dennis, right? Some of our fraternity brothers, right? Some of our college brothers, right? Some of our family members, some of our friends. You could literally be like, "Yo, I'm doing this over here. Like, you should tap in. Like, I'm learning this thing. Like, maybe we should grab coffee and talk about it. Ah, man, I'll get to it. I'll holler at you later, man. Yeah. I need to tap in, bro. Anytime someone says I need to tap in, I'm like, bro, ma'am, you're not ready. You're not ready. I need to tap in with you. You're not ready. You don't have your mind right to understand that the possibilities that are in front of you is I'm trying to go from 0 to 100 or 1,000. I don't have time to go on a journey. The journey could literally be a week. Someone's life could be transformed in a week by new understanding. Man, I ain't got a week. You know what hurts me the most? What hurts me the most is you got to leave those folks behind. To regain control of what you want for you, is you can know a person or people or congregation or community or even home where you grew up, your college folks, your old coworkers. You could literally know these folks for decades. And you got to say, man, I feel more connected over here than what y'all talking about for the last 2 decades. That's what hurts the most. Because who doesn't want to celebrate at the mountaintop with the folks that knew you from the beginning? You know, when you finally uncover something for yourself, or you want to celebrate something special in your life, and you're like, man, I wish such and such was here. Man, and I just wish they would have listened. Man, I wish they would have read that book I suggested to them. I wish they would have just watched that YouTube video. I wish they would have just paid the small fee, yet they're over here buying shoes every weekend or going out and that meal was $30, $40. And they do that every weekend. So they're spending $200 a month on just food. Wish they would have listened. That's what regaining control of your life feels like. Is you can gain all the control and you look to your left and you look to your right and you still feel a little bit lonely because you've got so much awareness of what the possibilities are. Let's read off. Put a 5 in the chat if this is good thus far. Appreciate you, Dennis. Put a 5 in the chat if this is good thus far. Put a 5 in the chat. We'll be wrapping up here. Put a 5 in the chat, 5 in the chat, 5 in the chat, 5 in the chat. Cool. Let's read off our pivot year and daily stoic. We'll get up out of here. I'll go over a little bit of economy too. I'll end off. I know we got the economy as well, so I'll give you my perspective at the end, just like town hall. The first part of the year is typically a time of clarity. So if you're needing just words to describe what you're feeling right now, I'm just trying to get clear. Because a lot of times we rush into things that we want to do, we want to accomplish, and we start to dissipate, right? You're running a marathon and you start off a little bit too fast. And guess what? The person that just does the daily habitual things actually starts to surpass you. So slowing down to actually speed up, running the race. January 16th, And January will be up before you know it. Then it'll be March. Then it'll be the summertime. Like, better get to it. I'm telling you. Never do anything out of habit. So, in the majority of other things, we address circumstances not in accordance with the right assumptions, but mostly by following wretched habit. Since all that I've said is the case, the person in training must seek to rise above. So, as you stop seeking out pleasure and steering away from pain, to stop clinging to living and abhorring death. In the case of property and money, to stop valuing receiving over giving. In summary, if all that was a bunch of gibberish, a worker asks, "Why did you do it this way?" The answer, because that's the way we've always done things. How many of you heard that before? You ask a question to learn something and to gain understanding, and yet you're more confused because, oh, that's just the way it is. Oh, we've always done it that way. Well, that's just tradition. The answer frustrates every good boss and sets the mouth of every entrepreneur watering. The worker has stopped thinking and is mindlessly operating out of habit. The business is ripe for disruption by a competitor, and the worker will probably get fired by any thinking boss. In summary, we should apply the same ruthlessness to our own habits. In fact, we are studying philosophy precisely to break ourselves of the rotting behavior that a lot of us are in right now. Find what you do out of memory or routine. Ask yourself, is this really the best way to do it? Know why you do what you do and do it for the right reasons. Never do anything simply out of habit. Ask yourself tomorrow, is this the best way to brush my teeth? Why do I take a shower in the morning versus the night? Why do I take 2 showers a day? Why do I pour my cereal before my milk? Why do I dry myself off after I get in the shower the same way every single time? It doesn't mean that the way that you're doing certain things aren't right. But guess what? Each and every question that you ask along the day will allow you to be more intentional about why you do what you do. Because everything that we do leads to a certain result or action. If I'm trading, why in the world do I keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result? Because guess what? It could be a positive routine or a habit. But because you question it, you got to instill it more confidently into your life. But if I'm not aware that what I'm doing is even incorrect because it's tradition, it's the way we've always done things. That's just the way it is. That's law. You know, the people that get frustrated when you ask them, so why why you want to move there? My mom does this sometimes. Love her to death, but um why you want to move there? Well, the mountains, and I just need some fresh air, and there's less humidity, and it's just a new place. Well, why? I what do you mean? You just asked me that. It's like, what do you mean? Why? You're the person that is looking to project their answer or get the response that they want because they're just not questioning their life. So then they're projecting onto you what should happen because that's the way things have been always. Why'd you vote for that person this time? We do things this way. What way is that? So I can't think for myself anymore? Well, no, I don't know actually. That'll that'll rattle the unemotionally intelligent person to the core because they won't understand. And that's the point. That's the point, is understanding why you are doing what you're doing. And then the person that the people or society will say, well, there needs to be law. So, well, guess what? Should college be 4 years? Should college even be paid anymore? It's included in Europe. Should healthcare be free? Nah, nah, nah. We need to pay the tax. We need to, nah, nah, nah. No, capitalism. No, no. Keep. If someone goes to the hospital, they need help, and they don't got insurance, $1,000. But someone's afforded a good job because they had the ability to get that job because they were privileged enough, or they worked their butts off to get that job, or maybe they were just in the right place at the right time. So now they got health insurance, and now they only pay $5 for a copay, yet a person over here does not. Well, why? Oh, that's just the way it is. That's what I'm learning now more that I gain wisdom is I'm actually intrigued by, man, I didn't even know that could be changed. I'll give you a reference. I'll read off the pivot year. The Gulf of Mexico. We've always known that. You learn in history books, it's the Gulf of Mexico. Like, that's just what it is. Off the Gulf, the coast of Gulf of Mexico. The hurricanes coming through the Gulf of Mexico. I think we should change it to the Gulf of America. I mean, I don't know why, but I guess I didn't even. So no one ever thought. I don't even. Is that even important? But can that be done? Why? You start asking these questions and you're just like, interesting. That's all I say is interesting. Because what we have always believed is just it, because it is. And I think that's why a lot of us, to summarize this conversation of regaining control of our lives, is that we're operating out of it is what it is. Yet we have the power, the permission to change anything that we'd like to change at any moment in time, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, whether there's a sacrifice, or it's going to hurt, or it's going to be painful, or it's going to be exciting. Sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm giving a drastic example, Tyrone. Exactly. That's all I'm saying these days is when I start hearing things and seeing things, I'm like, interesting. That's just my anchor word in NLP now. That word that kind of puts you in a present moment to just be like, huh. I don't know what I feel, what's real. I don't know yet. Let me just think on that. Interesting. Day 16, pivot year. Day 16, pivot year. You may fear the quiet times in your life when your soul goes through a winter. However, it's often those same times when the most profound and human work of all is being completed. Be still, do nothing actively. It is both the quiet and the present and the noise that writes the symphony. The blank canvas and the paint that paints the picture. The rest and the movement that gives you the wisdom. In summary, insight and clarity to press forward more boldly than ever before. It takes an immense amount of grit to get knocked down and get back up, to get knocked down and get back up, to get knocked down and get back up, to get knocked down and get back up. To finally see through what is for you. It takes an immense amount of faith, grit, and just belief in oneself that it's going to work out. To constantly retest and reinvent and retest and reinvent. You hear these stories of these thought leaders that created their businesses in their 40s. The KFC dude, Jeff Bezos, all these people that in your life, whoever it is, they created not only their wealth, but an idea, a change in their life. They went back to school. You don't have to do anything. And the moment we decide that is the moment that we begin to regain control. I'll give you a personal example. I'll give you a reflection and then trying to think a couple of reflections that I had because people think I'm just like I ain't been through nothing. I'll give you some rejections that may not be big to you, but were pivotal points in my life just to kind of open up just a little bit. Um, I was always what my battle has been in my life is I was always the likable guy. The guy that's not at the immediate top, but is good enough. In school, O'Brien, you didn't get the top end award, but you got good grades, right? Like you were in the lower end of the AP classes. I don't like to call myself that, but I was the least of intelligent in my AP classes in high school. But I was there. So I was like right in the middle. I was smarter than the regular classes, but I was not at the top notch of being valedictorian or anything like that. I thought I was halfway decent at basketball, and I got rejected from my freshman year basketball tryouts. I was top notch in baseball and getting recruited in sports and baseball up to the high school level. And then I so decided that I had to transfer schools and was not able to play baseball anymore. So I went to golf, and everyone was laughing at that. Black man playing golf in Alabama, carrying my clubs, playing golf. Just this constant, like, man, am I weird? Am I different? I chose to go to Morehouse while everyone had what was Morehouse, so I had to um, while everyone was going to Alabama and Auburn and Alabama State and the local colleges and um, going to top-notch PWIs around the Southeast. And when it said on my graduation that I'm going to Morehouse College, what's that? At an adolescent age, at 16, 17, 18 years old, we still not fully developed. So you're still questioning your life is like, am I right making the right moves? Because you don't have the immense amount of experience or confidence yet to understand. I know this is, you know, small world problems for folks. I never got to meet any of my grandfathers. They both passed away at the age of 50. Small family. I've told people that before. Just me and my brother. Really no first cousins. Only one first cousin. My mom is only child. I get into college. I'm a chemistry major. I failed my first chemistry course freshman year. Luckily, got to retake it. Still stayed on track to graduate in 4 years. Didn't make alpha or didn't grind hard enough as a sophomore and a junior because I was so challenged with like school and not knowing what perseverance and actually going and getting something. When they say you need to talk to every brother on the yard, I'm like, okay, I'll call a few, whatever. And then comes around, I didn't get picked. So I'm sitting here grinding my junior year summer where I'm supposed to be having fun. And I end up pledging my fall year of my senior year. So these constant like hits. I was good enough in golf, but yet I see all my friends and whatnot going pro and developing all these businesses and actually in the golf industry. And I'm like, man, I was just as good. I was beating all of them. This is not a sympathy thing. It's just like when you have these hits and whatever your hits are in life, whether it's more drastic in loss or you've had continuous rejections, right? Love life, like you commit yourself to a couple years and then they leave. And you commit yourself to a couple more years with a person, you propose, you do all the things you're supposed to do, they leave. You have to rebuild your life continuously, challenge yourself, and then you leave pharmacy because you was on your own accord and do this and do that. And then it's still challenging. You're still trying to rebuild yourself. So all these like constant hits of what your value is, yet your value is not defined in other people validating you for that value, because only God does. But we're human beings. After so many hits in life, of being said no, of you're not good enough, or you didn't get what you actually desire to get, you got the crumbs of it, or you had to choose the lesser of the two. It always felt like, man, it's just not enough. That amount of hits for some people would knock folks out. And I'm here to tell you that the person that's able to sustain the longest, that's the person that's going to end up winning. I'm playing the long game here because I look back and I'm like, man, y'all fell off. You fell off. You gave up that quick, right? Maybe at your old job, or maybe you didn't want your old job, but you see the person you worked with and they got to work their way up the ladder and they're now the manager, or they're running the corporation, or they're at a higher position. And you're like, man, I remember when we were working together in the cubicle, or when we were working together here. Like, how did you get up there? I just sustained, whether you like it or not. So whatever your sustainable journey is, right? You are in competition with yourself, but don't get it twisted. You are in competition with others. Who's able to sustain longer? Who's able to show up consistency longer? I don't care what you did in a short amount of time. Oh, great. You had a little spurt. Cool. Okay, great. You lost 30 pounds. That's great. Do you still have that 30 pounds off? Are you still feeling good and looking good? Maybe it's not poundage for you, but you're still feeling good, looking good. Great. You chugged your gallon of water for a month. Cool. Don't really care. Great. Congratulations. Get your participation award for that moment in time. That's why when people say, man, Brian, you got your doctorate. That's so cool, man. Like, great. That was a moment in time for me. I'm very honest with myself. I didn't sustain. If you ask me about a medication, I could definitely give you a recommendation. I know the drug classes, and I still know just as much as some of these physicians out here, but I'm not actively practicing medicine. I didn't choose to sustain that. So that was a moment in time of my life, still a part of me. So you can regain control of your life. I'm looking at the chat. So I'll take a pause right here because I can keep going, and this is good for some of y'all just to like hear in the background. If you're doing something else, cooking, whatever, about to cook some food in just a second for myself. Please put a Q&A down below. I love hearing the chat, because the chat or what y'all are feeling is something that I can expound upon. I'm here for that reason. I was just about to ask today, how come I haven't moved up in work? That's a great question, Christian. So you were asking your boss that, or you were asking yourself that? I'll give my 2 points while you're maybe responding to it. So maybe I can give you a little bit more direction if you are wanting that. To serve everybody in here, if someone says, I just want to know why I'm not moving up into work, and they're asking themselves that, you have to choose. You have to choose, am I even on the right train? Am I even on the right like transportation vehicle? Some people are at jobs and positions and careers and places where the ascension level is not even for you anymore. You've outgrown that place. So you've got folks that are trying to like, man, why am I not progressing? Why am I not, getting the promotion? Why? Maybe That's a blockage from God or from the universe saying you're not even supposed to be ascending in this on this train. You need to hop off of this train or begin looking at the other destinations that are available to you. Get on site and say, how else can I get to a destination? I'm on a train. I need to be getting on this plane or this train or this vehicle or this car, and I am on the wrong track. So sometimes it's actually a blockage. Oh, a coworker asked you, okay. So you have okay, here's my second point. If you so desire and you are looking to ascend up in your workplace, a lot of times we have people in power or positions of leadership that shouldn't be in leadership. So I've got two choices, right? Because we've all had very aware leaders, bosses, supervisors, whoever is in position of power or control or decisions. I can choose to bring this up in a responsible way or respectful way or a commanding way to the person that is in power or has a decision. A lot of us have been in corporate before. We know the game. Hey, boss, supervisor, you got a few moments of your time that we can just carve out a little bit? I just want to chat with you about a couple things. Cool. If you've done this, great. Hey, I've the reason we're here today, or why I want to talk to you, is because I want to find a way to grow in this company. I want to find a way to grow in my role. And right now, I don't feel like I'm growing at the level that I want to. So, what I'm asking, is there a way, or what do you see as a path for me to ascend at this corporate position or this level or this company? I've done this before in roles that I've been in, retail, pharmacy, different ways. I bring it up as a question. What do you see as a way for me to ascend and move up in this company? It's different than saying, I want to do this, I want to do that. Because guess what? I'm putting now the power and position for you to tell me. Because if the person in power or position is not able to see what your value is or to ask you responsible questions, then I'm like, man, I now see it. It's going to be very difficult. Because if the person is leading me can't even see what value I bring, how's this going to work? So a response from a supervisor or a boss. Yeah. You have to provide value and more of it than your coworkers. Yeah, I agree. So a coworker is asking you that probably because the coworker sees more in you than the leadership and the person in power of making decisions does. So how I'm reading Christian right now is, if I'm his coworker, Christian, man, why haven't you moved up in work yet? So imagine me and Christian working together and I see Christian doing X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, man, you're killing it, bro. Why haven't you moved up? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. I'm wondering the same thing. That's how I'm reading Christian in his question, if that's on point. So the skate reel is saying you have to provide more value than your coworkers. I agree with that, but I also have a devil's advocate view that I can provide so much more value that I stand out. I'm getting all the awards, but I'm still in the same position because I don't have leadership that recognizes my value. If I don't have a company or leadership, or I've presented that opportunity that I want to ascend and there's no ascension plan, hey, I want to be supervisor. Hey, I want to move up in manager. Hey, I want to be a project manager. Hey, I want to oversee my coworkers. I want to have a higher position. I want to get paid more. Man, we need you right here. You're doing a great job, right? We'll let you know when there's things available, but keep doing what you're doing. That's why a lot of people are half-ass working. Because it's like, why would I give all of this that I'm given when the folks next to me are given half as what I'm given and we're getting paid roughly the same amount? I might as well do what they're doing. Protect my energy, protect my time, protect my value. But that's your prerogative. You got some pride. right? So you're not going to diminish yourself to say, I'm not going to do the bare minimum. I'm going to do what I'm doing, but I might have a little bit less energy to do more. If there's not more on the other side for me, why would I? I'd rather give that time, energy to something on the side, or looking for another job, or looking for another opportunity, or building a business on the side. I'm not giving more of you to me. I mean, more of me to you at this company. Yeah, they saw my potential. I started questioning myself too. Yeah, you've got your coworkers seeing your potential. Man, it's a problem. It's a problem. And that's why I had this conversation tonight. Because I'm not perfect either, but I feel like I'm very highly emotionally intelligent, and I see folks. I see you. I'm like, man, that was a great question. You don't know what folks have within inside of them. And just because some of you feel like I'm just an operator, I just show up and do what I do, you're more than just an operator. Because if you're on here, I believe you're a thought leader. You have more, you want more for yourself because you feel like you have more to give. I agree with that. The skate reel. If you provide great value, your bosses can't afford to lose you. Yeah, in a sense. In a sense. Yeah, I agree with that too. I agree with that too. So if you're re-listening to this, a lot of people think that they deserve better and pay better position when they have butt off and work off their butt at all. They're half given anything. That's the society we're in. People have some cush stuff going on. Take a couple calls. They're on the golf course. I'm not saying everybody. They work from home. Some day they're now working 4 days a week instead of 5 days a week, and people are still complaining. It's like you're making $70,000 to $80,000 a year. Some of you, I mean, maybe 60. Some of you are making $150,000 a year doing nothing. Let's be real here. Man, I need to be making more. I need to be doing more. They need to give me more. It's like some of y'all remember the jobs that you had, your first ever job getting paid $4 an hour, $5 an hour, $6 an hour. I worked my butt off. My first job making $5.60, $7 an hour. My first job was a bougie job, okay? I never worked in fast food restaurants, never did that. I don't like working people's food. That's just me. I just wasn't going to do that. So I've always been in retail. That's probably why I'm decent at sales. I've always been in retail. My first job was selling golf clubs. Okay. So imagine some of y'all, Dick's Sporting Goods, PGA Superstore. There was a place called Edwin Watts Golf. Okay. I was selling those golf clubs, and I'm sitting here selling $1,000 golf clubs, and I'm getting paid $7, $6 an hour. Stocking, showing people, fitting people for golf clubs, and then they spent $1,000 for golf clubs, and I just worked my butt off. I was like, that's my realization when I started thinking about value. I was like, someone just asked me all these questions and just spent $1,500 for a set of golf clubs. And I just gave them an hour of my time, and I made $14, spending 2 hours with them, fitting them, doing this, doing that. Man, yeah, they're getting real low performers. You got to perform. Folks don't care about your title. They don't care about your degrees. They don't really care that you got your MBA. Y'all saw the stat in Leverage University. Harvard MBAs and various different high level people are just not getting jobs. They don't care. So now it's like, what's your value? What? Okay, you know a couple of things. What value do you bring to me? And that's worth a lot. So instead of paying a bunch of people 60, 70, $80,000, I'd rather pay 3 people, 4 people, 200,000. I don't need any more operators. I need thought leaders. And that's where that wealth gap starts to being created. And any final thoughts, questions, concerns? Man, this is a long live. I apologize unapologetically, but I appreciate y'all staying on here with me just to chat. Any final thoughts, questions, anything that you would like to know, or for me to just give my perspective on very quickly? If not, I'll round us out here. Going once, going twice. I think there's a little bit of a delay, so I want to make sure that the chat really quick is instead of me just hitting the X button. No? You got me. Going once, going twice. Some people are like typing really fast. I don't know what to ask, Brian. That's okay. All right. If anything comes up, I'll keep checking it. I'll lead us off with a prayer. Lord, thank you so much for bringing us together this evening on this Thought Leader Thursday, where we build thought leaders with their mind, bodies, hearts, souls, and their pockets. Allow everyone to just understand that they do have the ability to choose what they have control of, and they have more control of their life than they think. Allow them to understand that they have value in life, and if they don't feel like they have value, allow you to instill what it is that is for them, placing them in position to see what is for them right in front of them. Allow them to understand that this is a year of faith in action, faith to understand that there are going to be some things that are unseen. Allow them to be able to see, allow them to be able to persevere, allow them to be able to continually get back up again. And then once they get back up, try to sustain an energy that is prolonged for a period of time. Find those things that are habitual in nature. Find those things that are continuously working for them, and then exile the things that are not. Thank you so much. In Jesus' name, amen. You're so welcome. I'll talk to y'all later. A lot of people think they deserve 200,000 just because they went to college. Yeah, that's not happening anymore. It's not happening anymore. That's why folks, entrepreneurs are getting paid, $200,000 just to close deals. Right? You got closers out here. Just, hey, can you close this deal for me? I'll give you 20% commission. Close a 10K client for me, right? And I'll pay you 2K. That's happening out here. If y'all really want to know if y'all don't know about entrepreneurship or what's actually going on and how folks are, I'm not talking about no OnlyFans and all that kind. I'm talking about like things that are happening on this other side. That's what opened my eyes. Right. And you don't even have to be entrepreneurial or be an entrepreneur, run your own business. I'm just talking about things that are happening where folks are making easy 8K a month, 10K a month, 12K a month, doing things that you're like, what? I'm working my butt off getting paid $30, $40 an hour, which is a decent salary. That's what shook my world. I'm like, an hour of my time for $50. Think about how long an hour of energy for some things are. $50, $30. So when you see a consult fee or when you see somebody charging, or you're like, man, that sounds crazy. Who would pay someone $500 for an hour of their time, $1,000 for an hour of their time? Do you know how much energy and knowledge and transformation that could happen in that period of time? But because someone's mindset is stuck on, oh, well, man, that's how much I get paid in a week. Change this from value to what society is telling you. Regain control and understand that things can be questioned. That would change the world, in my opinion. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Love you all. Thank y'all so much. Until next time, next Thursday, I'll see you next Thought Leader Thursdays. And enjoy your evening. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.